Hello, good evening, everybody. Welcome to At America TV. We hope that everyone has been staying safe along with their families and friends. It has been 2 years since the start of the coronavirus pandemic, and many of us have tried to pick up different hobbies and activities to fill up our time. Today, we will take you to view some of our more artistic events through our partnership with BARTEGA that have brought colors to the lives of many of our audiences at home. The iconic Jean-Michel Basquiat is an inspiration for this event as we experiment with vibrant colors symbolizing unity and diversity to paint tote bags with BARTEGA's painting instructor, Natasha Budiman.
Hope everyone's enjoying their day. Welcome to our class today, and we're going to learn about Jean-Michel Basquiat, especially to celebrate Diversity Month in the United States and as well as in Indonesia. So thank you so much for spending the night with us, and hopefully we'll have fun painting. And today we're not painting on canvas, but we're painting on a tote bag. So it's a great time for Indonesia, especially we're starting to ban plastic bags, so we can start using this tote bags for you to go shopping, especially in this time of pandemic, right? So this is him. So he is actually he's American, but his parents are from Puerto Rico, and so he was born in 1960. He loved art since a very young age, and so he had this talent ever since he was 15 or younger, and the father realized, so he actually went to art school from a very young age. And he started his career in the arts in the 1970s, where people started to appreciate his art. He started making street art, and he worked together with LDS, and he started making graffiti art around New York. And then he became friends with renowned artists in the School of Visual Arts, such as Keith Haring. If anyone heard of him, Keith Haring is very popular as well. And he also became best friends with Andy Warhol. So if you joined our class a few months ago, we learned about Andy Warhol as well. And he actually sold his first artwork to Andy Warhol, which is a form of a postcard. And he became more popular, and galleries started inviting him over to do a lot of shows, a lot of gallery representation, and he does a lot of art exhibitions. He was invited to the Whitney Biennial, MoMA PS1, and he also sold a lot of his artworks to a lot of big collectors in New York at that time. But unfortunately, in the age of 27 years old, he passed away due to heroin overdose. So yeah, he was really overwhelmed with his popularity at that time. So he was just very anxious about his life, and so it's very unfortunate. But he did. After his death, his artworks were sold in auctions and a lot of galleries, even until today, and they're very, very expensive. So what inspires Jean-Michel Basquiat? So actually, back in the day when he was young, he went to the hospital, and his dad gave him a book, which is Grey's Anatomy. So if anyone watched the series, it's actually based on this book. And this book actually really inspired him to draw human anatomy in his paintings, which we will also be painting today. It's a part of his artwork style. And he's also very inspired by musicians, singers, and boxers. So he paints a lot of famous people in his paintings in his own art style. And last but not least, the reason why we picked him today, he is very inspired by dichotomies, which is basically the differences in the world, such as the rich versus the poor, or different races. And so he really likes to emphasize on this topic a lot in his paintings, which is very political and very deep sometimes in his subjects. And for his art style, it is called Neo-Expressionism. So what is Neo-Expressionism? So Neo-Expressionism is actually a style of late modernist, of early postmodern painting and sculpture. So it is actually established in the 1970s where he started his popularity. So he actually was one of the founding fathers of this style. So it's like expressionism, but slightly different. What makes it different is that it actually the subjects are very intense. The colors are very vibrant, and so it shows a lot of objects. So you can actually see the objects, as you can see from the examples here. But so the human body, but it's expressed in a very rough and violent way that is just a style. So if you can see, he likes to paint the human body, like the skull. It has a lot of vivid colors. So this is an example of a boxer that he painted. And sometimes his subject matters are also very playful and it's abstract for sure. So before we start, let's get our materials ready. And so who's ready to paint? So if those of you here who does not have a tote bag, it's completely fine. You can paint anywhere you want, even on the walls, or with acrylic paint, you can paint almost anywhere. So if you have acrylic paint, you can paint on your pot or even on your shoes, anywhere you can really paint with it. But today we'll be painting on a canvas, tote bag canvas. Just feel every brush stroke. How is everyone feeling today? Did everyone have a relaxing Saturday? Everyone staying home? Please, everyone who's in Jakarta especially, or around and almost everywhere in Indonesia, I think it's really, really dangerous now to go out. So if you can, stay home, stay safe, and drink lots of vitamins. So, and just representing everyone. We're here. We're all different, but we're here to support each other. And just making all these different colors together. Really, just like drawing figures. Bastian is also known to paint crowns for his objects. I'm just gonna make a small crown and one corner, a few of them. Scary. add some shadows as well. Add like really random lines. Let's try. Lighter green, I'm adding more yellow and more white to make a lighter color green here. I'm gonna write unity in diversity. Sometimes he likes to cross out some of his writing. For example, he wrote royalty or king. He crosses them out and then change to one. Like Bineka Tunggal Ika.
Climate change is an important topic that needs to be addressed by everyone living on this planet. To help bring awareness, At America and painting instructor Nadia Daniela invited audiences to paint and capture the beauty of Alaska's mountains.
Hi, good evening, everybody. My name is Nadia. I am from BARTEGA, and I'm so excited to paint with all of you today. I see that some of you already have your aprons on. So if this is your first time painting, don't worry. I will be guiding you step by step. But again, art is meant to be just an expression, and we're just supposed to have fun today. So you don't have to follow my instructions 100%. You can always feel free to explore other colors. If you want to leave out any object, or you want to add in anything, just feel free to do so. And if you have any questions, just let me know. So before we start, I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. Today's topic, Painting on My Mind series, is on climate change. And I just have a brief presentation here. Okay. So what is climate change? So it's the change in average conditions such as temperature and rainfall in a region over a long period of time. And in this case, the region is the Earth because it is a global phenomenon. And NASA scientists have observed Earth's surface warming, and many of the warmest years on record have happened in the past 20 years. So global climate change is very serious, and it's one of probably the biggest challenge that we are facing here on Earth. There are some scary effects that we can expect from climate change, and we are actually already experiencing, such as warming temperatures and changes in precipitation. And there's a whole list of its impacts, but the sea levels are rising, and the mountain glaciers, they are shrinking and melting, and ice is melting at a faster rate than usual in Greenland, Antarctica, and the Arctic. There are also changes in flower and plant blooming times. So this is a chart, and it's from data from NASA. And in the 60 years from 1880 to 1940, you can see that temperatures rise and fall, but in the from 1940 to the year 2000, the temperatures have been steadily increasing. So the US is doing a lot of things to prevent global warming. President Biden has thankfully recommitted the United States to the Paris Climate Agreement, sending the world community a strong signal that the US is determined to join other nations in cutting carbon pollution to support the shared goal of preventing the average global temperature from rising more than 1.5 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels. And the automotive industry is finding new ways to produce cars and trucks that are more fuel efficient, with more zero-emission electric vehicles on the road. Developers, cities, and community advocates are coming together to make sure that new affordable housing is built with efficiency in mind, reducing energy consumption and lowering electric and heating bills for residents. In 2020, renewable energy sources such as wind and solar also provided more electricity than coal for the very first time in US history. So yes, there is hope as long as we keep doing the work. So today's painting is of the Northern Lights. Who here is familiar? Can I get a raise of hands if you know what the Northern Lights are? Okay, maybe you know them by the name Aurora Borealis. And they appear when particles stream out from the sun and hit Earth's atmosphere. So these particles give some of their energy to atoms and molecules of gases in the upper atmosphere, but the atoms and molecules cannot hold the energy. They quickly give it off as another kind of energy, the colors of light that we call the aurora. So these lights occur most often around the North Pole and South Pole because the incoming particles have an electric charge. As the particles arrive, Earth's magnetic field guides them toward the poles. So here's a picture of the dazzling lights in the northern and southern hemispheres. So these are caused again by gases in the Earth's atmosphere, and the colors change depending on what is on the atmosphere or the level of oxygen and nitrogen. For example, a high nitrogen content produces a blue or purplish red aurora, while oxygen concentrations cause yellow, green, sometimes red auroras. And that's why sometimes we see pictures of the aurora borealis being purple, sometimes it's green. And although climate change has not been credited for any changes to the natural wonder, it'll be interesting to see if increased emissions in the atmosphere change the aurora's colors. Climate change in terms of cloud formation can easily block out the sky and make northern light hunts more scarce. And that is terrifying because I haven't seen the aurora. I don't know if some of you have seen it like you, but I wish that I'll have the opportunity to do so one day. And with that being said, let's paint and go ahead and mix. And when I'm mixing the paint, I like to just concentrate it in one corner like this so that it's not too thin. No two mountains look the same, so don't worry so much about getting the same shapes as my mountain. Just go up and down so that it looks natural. So if you leave your brush out in the open and then the paint dries on the bristles, it will ruin the brush. So you never want that to happen. So just make sure that your brush is always moist. And if they're not in use, just put them in water. And then after you're done later, you must always rinse it and then dry and leave them out to dry. And they will last for a long time. So here's a very useful tip with acrylic painting. If it's still wet, you can still fix your mistake like that. But you have to hurry because if it dries, you can't do this anymore and you have to use wet tissue. Now, if you're done with that, we're just gonna add some darker shades of blue. Okay, so create a shade of blue that is darker than the background. You can use blue and black with just a little bit of, or maybe not even any white. So just something that's darker than the background. And we're just gonna add some shadows. So if the right side of the mountain, let's say this peak here that I have on the middle, if that's the light side, maybe we can add some darker, just streaks of color on the left side. Maybe down here, just follow the shape of the mountain and create some darker side on one side here. Just a little bit of black. And there's some trees down here. Just paint one thin line and then dab your brush. So I'm just dabbing. You guys can see. Just dabbing, making sort of like a triangle shape with trees. As you go further down, the thicker it'll be on the bottom. And just more trees like that, different heights, different sizes. Try to make clean lines with the snow. that. There's some white streaks, but it's very, very soft. And the way I do that is I just take my brush and pick up some white paint. But this technique is called a little bit of a dry brushing. So you see how I have so much paint on my brush? Now, if you want to create a softer look, just try to spread the paint around thinly on your brush. So your brush is covered in paint, but it's sort of a dry cover. And for this one, on this side, I'll concentrate on the left side more. So the trees here, more snow on the left side. Tap, 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 leave some space, tap, tap, tap again. Leave some space, tap, tap. So you can still see the black underneath. It's not all white. But even if it's not clean, it's a little bit messy, that's okay. We can always cover it up with black, so don't be nervous here. So one aurora is done. Do the green. You know, if your auroras got inside the mountains, you can always cover it up with white. That's what I'm trying to do. Now is a good time to also observe your painting. If there's anything that you think is missing, add some details. Do any cover-ups if necessary. I'm just gonna add more stars. I'm gonna add more stars. Just adding the tiniest dot. Now you just wanna be very, very gentle with this. What I'm doing is I'm picking up white paint. Not too much, just a little bit. And then you see how there's paint that's just sticking out, and I'm just using the very tip of the paint to make the smallest dots for the stars. So just try to make the smallest dots as you can for the stars. Some are bigger maybe, some are smaller, just to make it look natural. Add some variation between. So this is the final step. If you want, just for fun, you can create like a cross shape or like a diamond shape for the stars. Just do a vertical line and then a shorter horizontal line. So remember that if you don't like any of the stars shapes, you can always wait for it to dry, maybe wait for 1 minute, and then just take your brush, grab some black paint and then cover it up. So if any star is looking a bit weird or out of place, then just erase it. think now might be a good time to finish decorating my sky. The very last step, as if you want, you can add your initial, maybe find a spot on the corner. Gonna add N and D over here. Or you guys can write your initial maybe here, or would also look nice in the bottom of the road or river here. Some people also like to write the date, maybe or the year. And that's the Northern Lights on a circular wood block. So if you're done with the stars, all you need to do is just to add the initials and you're pretty much done with the painting. If you have any questions, before we take a photo, a group photo, feel free to ask me. But other than that, thank you so much. This is the end of the instruction, end of the tutorial.
To celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month, we have another event with painting instructor Nadia Daniela. This time we spotlighted Frida Kahlo, a renowned Mexican artist known for her self-portraits and vibrant colors. Enjoy!
Okay, hello everyone. Thank you so much for having me today. And I hope you have a good day today. And please introduce myself. My name is Mary, Maria Agatha Saputi, but you can call me Mary, just Mary. Thank you so much for having me today. And let's start the session today. Maybe please start the presentation. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, our session today talk about Frida Kahlo. Painting on my mind, self-portrait of Frida Kahlo. Next. Okay. Today is National Hispanic Heritage Month, September 15 to October 15. Okay, what is National Hispanic Heritage Month? Next. Okay, Hispanic Heritage Month is celebrated from September 15 to October 15. September 15 is the anniversary of independence for Latin American countries Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, and Nicaragua. Okay. Celebrates the history, cultures, and contribution of American citizens whose ancestors came from Spain, Mexico, the Caribbean, and the Central and South America. The observation started in 1968 as Hispanic Heritage Week under President Lyndon Johnson, expanded by President Ronald Reagan in 1988 to cover a 30-day period, enacted into law in August 17, 1988. Next. So this year, 2021, is talk about Esperanza, which means a celebration of Hispanic heritage and hope. As you can see in this picture on the left side, it's talk about our past and our future. Next. Now let's talk about Frida Kahlo's stories. Who is Frida Kahlo? Frida Kahlo is Magdalena Carmen Frida Kahlo a Calderon. Okay, she was born on 6 July 1907 in Coyoacan, Mexico. Her husband is Diego Rivera. Frida survived both polio and a bus crash, but still continue living life to the fullest, creating beautiful artworks. Her name Frida means peace in German. Her father is German and her mother is Spanish. Frida was considered a mestiza, mixed European and indigenous ancestry, but is proud of her Mexican heritage. She was born and died in the same house. called La Casa Azul, the Blue House. Yes, as we know, is the Blue House now, which is now known as Frida Kahlo Museum. Next. Okay, these paintings are so beautiful. Her artworks are so beautiful. So let's talk about our inspiration today. Talk about Frida Kahlo. The first one is talk about Mexican culture and heritage, which means her talk about her family, her marriage, her pregnancy, and her husband. The second one is her own reality, personal experience. Talk about her mindfulness and her mentality, her sick, and her folio behind the bus crash. She was a strong woman. And the third one is talk about flora and fauna. She likes animals and also fauna and flora. Okay. Next. Now, this is the most important thing. As you can see, these three paintings is called art style. You can see the first painting, the vibrant and the bold colors that he used to make her painting is very strong. Is this we can feel the strongness from her mentality, from her personality about Frida. And the second one is symbolism. She she was used so many symbols on her painting. As you can see on this painting is so there are so many objects that we don't know about it. What is what is mean? What is mean? I don't know. But this is very beautiful. Yes, that's why she used the symbolism objects. And the last one is about identity and human body. This is my favorite paintings. There's two of Frida's in here. The painting is meant about talk about her personality and cut into two Fridas. The first one is about her pregnancy, her marriage, and the second one is about her personality. Frida is strong. Frida is tough. She can through her problems and survive the problems. Okay, next. There's three quotes from her. We can read about it like now. What do I need you for when I have wings to fly? I don't paint dreams or nightmares. I paint my own reality. I think that little by little, I'll be able to solve my problems and survive. As you know from the story that I told you before, the first quotes is talk about her marriage, her husband. But in my opinion, yeah, what the meanings of these quotes. The first one is talk about her husband or her family, marriage, divorce. But the second one talk about her accident, her nightmares, her problems, her bus crash, and the pain, the folio. And the third one, how she survived the problems and release the problems into painting. That's it, in my opinion. Next. Okay, let's paint Frida Kahlo together. So we can start the painting right now. So I already set up my tools. Please let me know if you never ever paint before. Have you ever made a painting before? Let me know, please. You can raise your hand or write it down on the chat room. I will take my first color is white. Please prepare the white color and then put it down on the palette like this. And then take the yellow color on the different space, yeah. Don't put it together. And then red color. If you want to ask something, just ask. You can unmute yourself or write it down on the chat room. Okay, and the last one is blue. Okay, before we start the painting, let me check a little bit. Okay, for who? Let me show the sketch first. Okay. Okay, I'll show the sketch. Okay, I want to tell you, please to turn on your camera so that I can see you, see your progress, see your painting, and we can meet each other. Brush it like this. That's enough. Just one side from the and then let's paint on the canvas on this side. Don't use it too much, just a little bit. And the last color is blue. Just add white paint and blue. A little bit blue. Okay. Okay, I'm done. How is everybody? Are you guys doing good? Okay. I see you, Kadesi. Start from the Tosca. Okay, start from the Tosca and then make it from the cheek. And then we can add a little bit on the forehead. Make it more lighter. Continue. Okay, next we can use red, only red for the ears. And this one too. And then this is for this part. Like this. And then the left side as well. Like this. And then back to the purple again. Okay, don't forget to use the peach color too. The peach for her cheekbone. Like this. Yes. Make the wavy shape. Make it wavy. Start from the outline first and then fill in the hair. We can use the dark purple also for the eyebrows and her eye. Her eyebrow is very bold. The iris, I mean. Okay. Almost done, the iris. And then use the dark purple again for the outline. You can make the outline And continue the others. Make a dot. Oh, if you want to see more closer. Okay, I can zoom in the camera. Use the smallest brush. Start from the upper lip. And then finish the other one. And to make it more natural, make the circle. And then the smaller circle. Make the flowers in here. Any colors you want. And put it on her hair. Ooh. Hey, this is so fun. Cool. Baru nunjukin juga Kawara, lucu banget. Ya Kawara tuh cute banget. Kali dia nggak kelihatan nih. Kak Firna juga lucu, cute. Kak Karisma, wah bagus juga nih. Yeay, wah bagus banget nih. Aku mau coba take video ya, boleh show lagi artworks-nya. Terus aku take video sedikit. Dan aku sangat senang karena sudah bisa berbagi dan kalian udah menemani aku di sini di malam minggu yang sangat cerah, gak hujan. Semoga kalian juga gak hujan ya. Terima kasih banyak.
That's it, everyone. We hope that you have had as much fun as we did. As you all have probably noticed, we celebrate many different themes each month. Don't hesitate to join our website at www.atamerica.or.id to stay updated and watch our live stream channel. Also, come follow our social media at @ATAmerica for even more updates from us. With this, I am closing the event, so make sure to have fun and celebrate with friends and family for the coming new year in a few days. Goodbye, everybody.